I voted for the thing for liberty, but you're going a little too far. Too far? What are you, some kind of homophobe? Some kind of LGBT phobe? Huh? You're the fucking worst bigot. And then they're just like, you know what? Okay, how about fuck you and fuck everything? How about that? How about fuck everything you want? Yeah, apparently like she quit, right? Does anybody know why? I actually don't know the story. I just heard about it. Like I've been so busy the last couple days that I actually don't know what happened.
So she, for the longest time, was
Asmongold.
like a super like big Trump person.
Yeah, Marjorie Taylor Greene.
She would wear like a Trump hat in Congress, shit like this. Like she was, you know, she was a big fan of Trump, and she deviated from the acceptable line of thought. Naturally, now she's a traitor. Here's what I think is kind of funny. You're resigning on January 5th, 2026, a whopping 5 years and 2 days after being sworn in. This happens to be the bare minimum to lock in the taxpayer-funded congressional pension for life. Resigning 2 days after her congressional pension vests.
Interesting.
Very convenient. Let's watch the video.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
I've always represented the common American man and woman as a member of the House of Representatives, which is why I've always been despised in Washington, D.C.
Yes.
And just never fit in.
Right.
Americans are used by the political industrial complex of both political parties, election cycle after election cycle,
follows you guys. Thank
in
you.
order to elect whichever side can convince Americans to hate the other side more.
No, this is what happens, is that I'm going to explain how that works. So basically, you're going to have, let's go like this, right? And we'll make it a little bit bigger. All right. So we'll go like this, and then we'll go like this. Okay. And so the graph here is called quality of life. Okay. And here's what happens is that you start with a Democrat and things get worse. And so you hope that you can vote for a Republican and then things will get better. But then they don't, so they get worse. And then you think, okay, well, we're going to vote for a Democrat because the Republican didn't make things better. And then they get worse. And then you think, well, this Democrat didn't fucking do anything. All right, well, we're going to vote for a Republican this time. Then things will get better. But then they get worse. And then so now you have a Republican, so you think to yourself, okay, well, you know what we need to do? We need to get a real Democrat in here like we used to have all the way back up here. And then if we do that, now things will get better. And so they vote for a Democrat, and then things get worse. And so then after that, they think, all right, well, listen, we've had Democrats a long time, but does anybody remember the good old days of Reagan or George Bush? Well, you know what we need to do? We need to vote for a Republican. So then they vote for a Republican, and then things get worse.
Yep. That's actually true, yeah.
This is welcome to the last 50 years.
And doesn't it look like, dude, doesn't it look like a sad, like, anyone else see that? It's like a face. It's like a Rick and Morty character. Like a sad face. Yeah, it's so true.
That's what happens.
Well, the problem is that Republicans are not, conservatives are not good at conserving anything. And the problem, like, it's actually kind of like this. So, like, this is, like, I guess I'll do my own version of this, but basically, this is kind of how it is, right? It's very similar. It's very simple. It's kind of like this. This is how I've seen it. It's a slightly different version of Asmon's, okay? So now we're gonna have some paintception here, all right? We got paintception. All right, so it goes like this basically. I'll do kind of similar to like what Asmon did. So we'll do it's like this basically. To me, it's actually like this basically. This is how it actually is. So, and let me know how you feel about this if you agree with it at all. But it basically, I see it like this. There's a actually, this is a little bit wrong. It's actually more like this. Okay. So you start off with a Democrat, right? And then the Democrat implements all of their bullshit policies and they fuck everything up, right? And it goes down like this, right? And then the Republican goes, guys, we have to like lock up the government, enable, less taxes and stuff like that, but they don't actually do anything. So what they do is they conserve this line right here. So they're going to conserve this line. So it's going to go like this, basically. And then they go, man, this guy didn't fucking do anything. He didn't fix the problem. He didn't do this, right? Which is what you wanted, right? It's like, he didn't do this. All he did was nothing. So like, maybe the Democrat will be better. And then the Democrat tanks it again. And then the next Republican is like, I'm going to do the same thing, like just like before. Go right back to how it was. And it's like, they literally do nothing again. And really, the Republicans should be pushing back against this, but they should be pushing back against this, basically pushing back against this. Trump is the only one that did anything like this remotely. Trump is the only one that remotely pushed back, basically, and was like, we're gonna like remove the stuff that like they did. He was the only one that did it, and like, yeah, this is basically the problem, is that the conservatives never fight back. Basically, they're just absolute fucking like cucked pussies. They don't do anything. They don't try to push anything because they don't want to be racist. They don't want to like be seen as racist or seen as any of these things. They never ever push back ever. They just take it like a bitch. They just kind of limp dick it all the way back, and then they just keep going, basically, and the ladder just keeps going down that way. That's like how I see it. I don't know. It's slightly different modification of the Asmon's thing, but I think it's more accurate.
The reason why it ping-pongs back and forth behind the different parties, because neither one of them deliver on their promises, neither one of them improve the quality of life.
Exactly.
And they all are basically...
The difference, though, this is the real difference that I see. Asmon's totally right on here, that they don't deliver on their promises. The Democrats don't deliver on their promises, but neither do the Republicans, right? But I think the issue, at least for me, from my point of view, is that the Democrats actively make things worse. Like they actively shit stuff up when they're in office, and then the Republicans literally do nothing about it. Basically, they just take it.
Ping-pongs back and forth behind the different parties, because neither one of them deliver on their promises, neither one of them improve the quality of life, and they
it's bad action versus inaction. That's really the difference. Yeah, Trump is like the only one that like actually is pushing back.
Are basically surviving on ping-ponging nostalgia from the previous president that they mistakenly believe was actually trying to help them, but at the time the previous president made it worse themselves. So that's it. That's what's happened.
And the results are always the same. Mm-hmm. No matter which way the political pendulum swings, Republican or Democrat, nothing ever...
Did you hear about Doge getting disbanded? I kind of heard about that, but see, here's the thing. If Trump literally does nothing for the rest of his presidency, he already did more to like fight back. Does that make sense?
Gets better for the common American man or woman.
No, they don't.
The debt goes higher, corporate and global interests...
Oh, and by the way, every graph supports what I'm saying. All of the graphs agree with me.
Remain Washington's sweethearts. American jobs continue to be replaced, whether it's by illegal labor,
because we're so far down. We're so far down in the shitter. That's why it's not enough.
Or legal labor by visas, or just shipped overseas.
Yep. Like all of these, the problem is all of these effects from like the previous presidencies, all these effects from these politicians, it's all hitting us right now. It's like delayed. It's a delayed effect, right? It's like a zillion time bomb. Like they casted it a long time ago so that they could pat themselves on the back, and it's about to blow. It's blowing up on us right now, basically.
Right. Small businesses continue to be swallowed by big corporations. Americans' hard-earned tax dollars always fund foreign wars, foreign aid, and foreign interest. And the spending power of the dollar continues to decline.
That's right.
The average American family can no longer survive on a single breadwinner's income.
Well, this has been the case for 40 years.
As both parents have to work in order to simply survive.
Exactly.
And today, many in my children's generation feel hopeless for their future and don't think they will ever realize the American dream.
It's because they won't, because you got to be asleep. That's the reason why. There are some people that will be successful.
Every politician kicks the can down the street. See, that's the thing. It's really unpopular, right? To like be like, well, you're going to piss a lot of people off if you say, listen, like this country is for Americans, get the fuck out. Like if you're here illegally, get the fuck out. And they're like, oh, but like amnesty. Nope. No, get out. Just get out. But what about the children? Don't care. Just get out. Right. And it's really, really, really hard to do that. Like it's really, really hard to put your foot down, and it's really bad for your image, right? As you can see, like what happened to Trump, right? Basically, I think that, again, it is true that they kick the can down the road all the time. And that's why I think Trump is the only one that doesn't do that. Basically, he's the only one that's actively like tried to return things to like how it used to be.
But the reality is that that number is getting smaller, and the barrier to entry for a life of dignity is becoming higher every single year. It will become harder and harder to live a life of dignity. It's harder now than it was 10 years ago. It was harder 10 years ago than it was 20 years ago. And 10 years from now, it will be even harder than it is today.
And that breaks my heart.
That's the way it is.
I ran for Congress in 2020. and have fought every single day believing that Make America Great Again meant America first. I have one of the most conservative...
Why would you think that if Trump has never said anything negative about Israel? And if you can think of one negative thing that Trump said about Israel, you can find 50 other positive things that he said about it. Trump has said even before he was president that he would push on having a war with Iran. He said he was going to end wars already. Like, I feel like with that, he's definitely delivered on it. Now, you can make the argument that like he didn't say these certain things about China, etc. But I would say that in a lot of cases, he's actually been relatively... I think he's been relatively globalist. I mean, not entirely, and much less than like somebody like Obama, for example.
Yeah,
but he's been relatively globalist for a very long time.
It just seems like that because the bar is so low. Basically, the bar for caring about America at all is like so low.
Voting records in Congress defending the First Amendment.
I kind of agree with that.
Second Amendment, unborn babies, because I believe God creates life at conception.
That's nice.
And I love to fight for the little guy. Strong, safe borders. I have fought hard for that.
Yep.
I fought against COVID tyrannical insanity and mandated mass vaccinations.
Yeah, that was
crazy.
crazy.
I've never voted to fund foreign wars with your hard-earned tax dollars. However, with almost 1 year into our majority, the legislature has been mostly sidelined. We endured an 8-week shutdown, wrongly, resulting in the House not working for the entire time. And we are entering campaign season,
on purpose.
which means all courage leaves and only safe campaign re-election mode is turned on in the House of Representatives.
Sure.
During the longest shutdown in our nation's history, I raged against my own speaker and my own party for refusing to proactively work diligently to pass a plan to save Americans' health care and protect Americans from outrageous, overpriced, and unaffordable health insurance policies.
It's fucking ridiculous. Brother, Israel is considered the only bastion of the West of the Middle East. I wouldn't say globalist if they think of it as an extension of the West. Why the fuck do we need a bastion in the Middle East? Let them do whatever the fuck they want. It's not our problem. Who the fuck decided that we need to be meddling and micromanaging all these people in the Middle East? I don't want to micromanage Iran. We can bomb them if they're going to make a nuke. Yeah, sure. But other than that, fuck them.
Yeah, I agree. Actually,
I don't micromanage Saudi Arabians and fucking Iranians and Palestinians.
That's true. I was about to push back a little bit if he didn't say the second part. Basically, we said like if they're gonna make a nuke, then we bomb them. Then yeah, obviously, right? Like I think Asmon's take's pretty fair here.
What are you doing? What a waste of money and time. Anyway, that's what my opinion is. Okay. My other opinion about healthcare is true. Yeah, it's awful. Healthcare is fucking terrible. And it's going to get worse.
The House should have been in session working every day to fix this disaster. But instead, America was force-fed disgusting political drama once again from both sides of the aisle on television every single day.
Absolutely.
My bills,
I think our only interest really, and like maybe like this might be the only thing that I can think of is that it would be good for us to have bases all around the world. So if a country wants to give us a base, then like, you know, we'll have our base there. And then if they attack our base, then we'll attack them back. Right. But I think that would be really the only thing that kind of makes sense in our favor.
Any of President Trump's executive orders, like calling for a new census counting Americans only to draw a new district.
Based, by the way. Imagine being against only counting citizens. If you're against that, you're not an American. If you're against that, you should be deported. Get them out.
Yep.
Making English the official language of the U.S.
Which happened.
Making it a felony to medically trans a minor, and other bills like eliminating.
I'm gonna be honest, like I like that's 100% alignment for me.
Yeah.
Like I am a 100% on that. Every single one of those.
Same.
Absolutely.
Let me go back through it again just to make sure.
My bills, which reflect many of President Trump's executive orders, like calling for a new census counting Americans only to draw a new district.
Based.
Yeah. Why should the amount of illegals be it's an incentive right now to have illegals in your district because it gives you more power. How does that make any sense? You should not ever be incentivized to have illegal immigrants.
By the way,
yeah, I 100% agree with this.
Against only counting citizens. If you're against that, you're not an American.
Yeah, I agree.
If you're against that, you should be deported.
100%.
Get them out.
Making English the official language of the U.S.
Which happened.
Making it a felony to medically trans a minor, and other bills like eliminating.
I'm gonna be honest, like I like that's 100% alignment for me.
Same, yeah.
Like I am a 100% on that. Every single one of those.
Totally.
Absolutely.
Eliminating capital gains taxes on the sale of your primary home, and eliminating H-1B visas. Just sit. They all sit collecting dust.
I don't think you should eliminate all H-1B visas. I think that's too broad of a brush, but I think you should probably eliminate the majority of them.
Yeah.
Like
the standard should be stricter. I'd say, yeah.
If an H-1B visa is being found is found to just simply being undercutting workers in America, then that's a problem.
Yeah.
If it's actually
so I think the problem here is I think the argument behind like just removing all H-1Bs right now is that it's kind of a problem of overflow, that there's so many issues right now that this is the argument I hear from people that are my friends. Basically, we should remove it now because the issues there's too many issues right now. So we need to close it first, fix the issues, and then we can reopen it. That's what people have said. And I think that I can agree with.
You bring in a person that we have a labor shortage for, then that's more reasonable. I think you should have a little bit more of a measured approach on the H-1B visa thing. That's my opinion, personally. Like, I agree in principle, but not necessarily in practice categorically.
Yeah.
That's how it is for most members of Congress bills. The speaker never brings them.
You know what's funny is, like, I feel like a lot of people, like, especially like on the woke side of things, they like kind of look at it because Asmongold, because of how Asmongold presents himself, like he doesn't take himself too seriously. He's like, lives in like his parents' old house, and he kind of lives very frugally. Like he doesn't submit himself to extravagance, basically. He's just very down to earth gamer dude. He knows what he likes. Kind of reminds me a little bit of my millionaire friend, actually. But anyway, it's kind of like he's just very down to earth. And I think because of that, a lot of like people think that Asmon is really stupid. But like, I actually don't think he's stupid. I think he's smarter than like most people, to be honest. Like he actually like kind of analyzes it. Like while I might not agree with him on everything, I feel like he actually has a real opinion. Yeah, I think he's pretty smart, actually.
Floor for a vote. Many common Americans are no longer easily convinced by paid political propaganda spokespersons and consultants on TV and paid shills on social media obediently serving with cult-like conviction to force others to swallow the political party talking points.
People have been, and I think this is the reason why Trump and what's his name?
Zamolia says Asmon's very smart. He's just lazy. I don't know. Okay, see, the thing is sure you could say that he's lazy, like in some ways, but I don't actually think he's that lazy. He's doing a lot. I just feel like the word I would use is content. I feel like he's a very content person, right? Where he knows what he wants. He knows what he wants to do, and he goes for that, and that's it. He's not like greedy, basically. And that's kind of how I see it, is he goes after what he wants specifically. And he's content with that. He's content with like how things are for him. And he understands that. And the thing is contentedness is actually like a huge deal. It's actually really good for you to actually be content with, to be content about anything, really. It's actually a huge deal. Most people are too ambitious. Most people are too greedy, where they can't ever stop. Like a good example of this is Mizkif. Mizkif just can't stop, basically. Like, he's just too greedy, right? And if you consider like, both Mizkif and Asmon, you can see the stark difference in how contentedness created a problem for Mizkif, but for Asmon, it's a virtue. Does that make sense?
Mandami won. Is that voting for those guys was a big fuck you. It's not about, oh, wow, so we're going to get this rapper that lived with his mom and he never had a job and he's going to run the state.
Actually, if you think about it, Hassan is the same way. Hassan isn't satisfied as well. They're actually both kind of similar.
City. Okay. Why? Because fuck you. That's why. Yeah, we're going to get this orange buffoon that he's going to say he's going to build a wall everywhere and he's going to end all the wars. And, this reality TV star, we're going to have him be the president now. Why? Because fuck you. That's why. Yeah. If you are not willing to do that, you will never achieve your goals. Because the people that are running things need to be terrified of their constituents. They need to be afraid to betray them. And right now, the constituents are afraid to betray the politicians. What a disgusting inversion.
Yeah.
Should have never happened.
Because they know how much credit card debt they have.
I'm not talking about killing them or anything like that. I'm talking about the voters holding them accountable for making bad decisions.
The problem with that, okay.
They know how much their bills have.
There is a problem with that, and the problem is the average voter doesn't care. The average voter doesn't think for themselves, so it's literally impossible for them to actually do that. How can you hold a person accountable when you don't even know what the fuck they do? There's no way. Like, how is that even possible? The voters need to hold them accountable. How? They don't even know what they're voting for. They don't know who they're voting for, what they're voting for, what that person even represents, what they did. They don't know any of it. The average voter is too retarded. And this is why I think not everyone should be able to vote. That's literally like, that's been my point the whole time. When I talk about how we need to limit the amount of people that can vote, that's what I mean.
Gone up over the past 5 years.
It's so obvious.
They actually do their own grocery shopping and no food costs too much. Their rent has increasingly gone up and up. They have been outbid by corporate asset managers too many times when they put in an offer to buy a house.
The fact that corporate businesses can...
Insane take. How's it an insane take? So what's like the alternative? Like we just let people continue the random vote? What's good about that? You let uninformed people vote. You let them vote for whatever without even thinking. You let them be manipulated by big companies, foreign interests. You allow these people to be manipulated, and then what is that? Is that where we're just gonna go with that? You're just gonna have like basically the entire voting structure is not based on like people actually thinking for themselves. It's just based on whoever influences them. It doesn't make any sense. It's obviously not getting us a good result, and obviously the status quo is bad. Obviously, it's so obvious. And like, if you want to, however you want to decide to change that, right? Like, if you want to say that that's terrible, everyone should be allowed to vote. I don't think everyone should be allowed to vote, but everyone should be allowed to have the opportunity to vote. Does that make sense? So there's nothing preventing like certain people from voting. You just have to achieve a certain milestone of meritocracy, and then you can vote. Whatever that is, whatever we decide that is, you do X, then you can vote. And the thing is we're so fucking, guys, you want to know how fucking retarded we are in this? That we've even determined that proving your identity is too much. We've determined, oh, that's too far. That's having to do too much. Your right to vote should be just so innate that you don't even have to prove who the fuck you are to vote. Like, we've gone like full retard with this, and like, it's so obvious. So like, if you're gonna say, well, it's an insane thing to say that people should be restricted in their ability to vote. Well, do you think voter ID is bad? Because that's restricting people from being able to vote.
Own these residential homes, and this has been an exploit that's been going on for like a decade now, is a disgrace. It is an absolute disgrace to the entire fucking to the entire country. This should have been immediately shut down 10 years ago. That's why lobbying should be shut down. You're always going to have money. I agree with you, but you're always going to have money find a way. MTG has construction interests. Yeah, well,
that's actually interesting. Somebody says net taxpayers should vote for Congress, veterans for president, and then like maybe if people really want a global vote, you can give a global vote to like one of the branches. That's kind of interesting. That might be an interesting concept, actually. Is that you have like one branch have a global vote, and then you have like the House maybe has a global vote, and then like Senate is maybe like net taxpayers, and then you have that's actually kind of interesting. I wonder how that would play out in simulation.
She could be biased, but she's still right.
I wonder if AI can simulate these things like one day. That would be really cool.
Like, maybe she's doing this for money, but like she's still right with what she's saying. It's still accurate what she's saying.
They have been laid off after being forced to train their visa-holding replacement. The college degree they were told to earn only left them in debt with no big six-figure salary. They see more homeless people than ever on their own community streets. They can't afford health insurance or practically any insurance, and they just aren't stupid. These are the people I represent and love, because that is who all of my family and friends are.
Absolutely.
Common Americans. I've been blessed to represent the 14th District of Georgia for 5 years. The district is filled with some of the most wonderful, kind-hearted, God-fearing, patriotic, hardworking people you will ever meet. Good, regular, common Americans. I've worked hard to bring taxpayer dollars back home to help district needs. I impeached Biden's Secretary of Homeland after watching my constituents die as he facilitated dangerous open border invasion into America. And I led the effort to defund hard-left politically biased NPR and PBS and the corrupt USAID, and I did that as
absolutely fucking unfathomably based.
Yeah,
completely defund them. They're worthless garbage that's been turned partisan. I would completely get rid of these people. Absolutely.
Yeah, totally agree.
chair of the Doge subcommittee. I have fought harder than almost any other elected Republican to elect Donald Trump and Republicans to power. I traveled the country for years. I spent millions of my own money. I missed precious time with my family that I can never get back. And I showed up in places like outside the New York courthouse in Collect Pond Park against a raging leftist mob as Trump faced Democrat lawfare. Meanwhile, most of the establishment Republicans who secretly hate him and who stabbed him in the back and never defended him against anything have all been welcomed in right after the election.
I think that's what you should do, though. Like, I mean, the thing is that you do have a huge problem of a lot of, and this is politicians. This isn't like Republicans or Democrats don't have a monopoly on this. This is just like a meta level problem.
Yep.
I think that, they should clean house. I think the Democrats, I think young people need to clean house with the Democrats and the Republicans. Like, they're both completely bought and paid for, bought out, totally controlled by special interests. They're completely disconnected from what the average American cares about or needs. It's awful. Like, it's crazy how bad it is.
Yeah.
And it's only going to stop when young Americans come forward and they hold them accountable. And I think that one day that will happen. I do.
And I will never forget the day I had to leave my mother's side as my father had brain surgery to remove cancerous tumors in order to fly to Washington, D.C. to defend President Trump and vote no against the Democrats' second impeachment in 2021.
Oh, God.
My poor father and my poor mother, it was way too much for all of us.
Yeah, it was bad.
Through it all, I never changed or went back on my campaign promises and only disagreed in a few areas, like my stance against H-1Bs replacing American jobs, AI state moratoriums, debt for life 50-year mortgage scams, standing...
The 50-year mortgage. It's like a weight loss plan where they tell you the solution is cutting off your leg.
I don't know enough about that.
Not exactly, okay? That's not what we were looking for.
Strongly against all involvement in foreign wars and demanding the release of the Epstein files.
Yeah.
Other than that, my voting record has been solidly with my party and the president.
50-year mortgage is wild.
Loyalty should be a two-way street. And we should be able to vote our conscience and represent our district's interests because our job title is literally representative.
Yeah, that's what they call it.
America first should mean America first and only Americans first.
Yep.
With no other foreign country ever being attached to America first in our halls of government.
I love that.
Oh, God. We need more of this.
I agree, yeah.
I don't know how this isn't so obvious. It's so, she's right. She's completely right about this.
Standing up for American women who were raped at 14 years old, trafficked and used by rich, powerful men should not result in me being called a traitor and threatened by the President of the United States, whom I fought for.
Yep.
However,
right. Trump completely mismanaged this. And I think that it's very weird.
It was bad.
Because...
It was actually, the Epstein thing was actually the worst thing about the Trump presidency so far. It was actually fucking awful, the whole thing. It's like I said, I'm not really a Trump shill. When things go wrong, I'm going to say it. And I think that the handling of the whole Epstein situation is the worst thing.
It's like the way that Trump treated Mandami. I think that if Trump was able to be that magnanimous like all the time, and he was able to be that reasonable all the time, he probably would be the best president of all time, like unironically. But like, it's this weird ego trip that he goes on with a lot of stuff. And it totally, I think it sabotages him in a lot of cases.
Yeah, I agree.
It really does. And I hate how he does that. It's so fucking stupid. It sabotages his best interests. And I am very, very frustrated about it because it's completely unnecessary. Ignominious? Yeah. Did I pronounce it wrong? I think I did. Yeah, it's childish. Yeah, exactly. And the problem is that, like, with Trump, like, this is my frustration with Trump, is that Trump, he represents ideas that I feel very strongly about. And in a lot of cases, he does so in a way that I think damages the ideas. So I think that's the big problem. Fair. Like the Epstein stuff is something that is a great example of that, where this is, or for example, America first. And it's like, you're going to bring in a bunch of like Chinese immigrant students. Like maybe that's a good idea. Maybe it's not, but it sure seems like 600,000 is a bit too many. Right. And so I see this kind of stuff happen. That's politics for you. No, it's not. It's just Trump. It's literally just Trump. And he doesn't always do that. You saw that with Mandami yesterday. Like, the fact is that Marjorie Taylor Greene represents a tremendous amount of people that I think there's a reason why everybody, like, she got voted in. There's a whole reason. It's because people. I would
totally, like, if this is like real, like everything she said in this thing, I totally vote for her.
Believe this, and they also, she support. This is the problem, is that Trump is doing what I've always criticized Democrats and liberals for doing, is that I've said before that, like, if you are a conservative and you find a liberal person, you can find the one thing that you agree on out of 10 things, and you can find common ground there. And a lot of liberals will do the opposite, where they will agree with you on 9 out of 10 things, but because of the one thing that they don't agree with you on, now you're a Nazi. And so the problem is that Trump is doing this all or nothing perspective. And I think that in the process of doing this all or nothing perspective, he is actually getting nothing. That's it. It's so annoying. Can't even say his name right. It's Mamdami, not Mandami. Yeah, whatever. I'm going to ban you. And so anyway, yeah, so that's about it. Good point. Yeah, that's what's happened. And it's become counterproductive.
Well, yes, hurtful. My heart remains filled with joy, my life is filled with happiness, and my true convictions remain unchanged, because my self-worth is not defined by a man, but instead by God, who created everything in existence.
Yeah, maybe not, though.
You see, I have never valued power, titles, or attention, in spite
Did he say I thought it was Yakub?
of all the wrong assumptions about me. I do not cling to those things because they are meaningless and empty traps that hold too many people in Washington. I believe in term limits and do not think Congress should be a lifelong career or an assisted living facility. My only goal...
If it shouldn't be a lifelong career, then why are you getting a lifelong pension? Ooh. It's very interesting, huh?
And desire has ever been to hold the Republican Party accountable for the promises it makes to the American people and put America first. And I have fought against Democrats.
Well, somebody in chat said that's different. Oh, okay.
Damaging policies like the Green New Deal, wide open, deadly, unsafe border policies, and the trans agenda on children and against women.
Yes, disgusting.
With that has brought years of
any sort of trans stuff for kids is like, at that point, like, this is a now you're entering into groomer territory.
I agree. Yep.
Stop. Never.
100%.
And these trans people will end up they will end up making reverse progress on their rights. And I think that the problem is that those issues have been so polarizing that they have you've seen support for gay marriage, not trans stuff, gay marriage go down. And I think that one of the reasons why is that they're getting AOE damaged from these fringe trans issues, like transitioning kids.
It's more. Well,
it's bad. It's radioactive.
It's basically because people feel like, well, if you're gonna say I'm a freaking bigot anyway, then you know what? Fuck all of you. And I feel like that's kind of the sentiment that people are having. It's kind of like, listen, I voted for the thing for liberty, but you're going a little too far. And they're like, too far? What are you, some kind of homophobe? Some kind of LGBT phobe? Huh? You're the fucking worst bigot. And then they're just like, you know what? Okay, how about fuck you and fuck everything? How about that? How about fuck everything you want? I kind of feel like that's the how people feel like there's been a tremendous overreach, and they are just like, well, the slippery slope. Remember, everyone said, oh yeah, you know, just want to get just gay marriage, it's fine. It's not going to go anywhere beyond that. There's no slippery slope. And people are like, guys, it's a slippery slope. And people are like, no, it's not slippery slope. It's fine. I'm like, okay. Ended up actually evolving into like more pushing onto society. And I think people just got sick of it. That's really what happened.
Awful.
Ending personal attacks.
And it was like, sorry, I just want to say it was done in like the worst way too. Like really like vilifying people, forcing people to do things. So people can agree to like, you have freedom. We want our freedom too. Our freedom and fairness. That's what we want. And it's kind of like, okay, fair enough, right? Don't really care, right? If you want to, you want to kiss boys and you want to get married, like, whatever, right? Like, sure, that's fair. Like, it makes sense if I can get married, to a man, then it makes sense, and get like benefits from it, then like, tax benefits or whatever, then, sure, fine, whatever, right? Who cares, right? And it's like, oh, trans people want to, do the thing. Oh, okay, fine, whatever, like, sure. You do that in your own time, whatever, like, just don't push any of this on me, like, whatever, like, right? And then it went from like that to like, you will respect my pronouns. You will bake a cake. You will you will be okay with us taking your kid and transitioning them because they said that they're trans at school. You will be okay with these things. You will call me ma'am. Right. It turned into that where like, if you don't do these things, then you're canceled, you're losing your job. To the point of like, oh, it should be illegal. And just people are like, whoa, I was okay with you having your freedom. And now you're trying to take away my freedom. So this was never about freedom. Okay, I see where this is going. Okay, fuck everything now. Everything that you say, fuck all of it. And I think that's like basically what happened is like the average person just like woke up and said, okay, these people they're trying to fuck with us now. This isn't about like tolerance at all because they don't tolerate us. So if this is going to be their wielding power on us to impact our way of life, then we'll wield power back. And that's literally what's happening. I mean, am I wrong? What do you guys think, chat? And let me know in the comments of the video. Like, what do you think? Like, do you think that I'm right here? I think I'm right.
Lawfare, ridiculous slander and lies about me that most people could never withstand even for a single day.
It's not a good time.
It has been unfair and wrong, not only to me, but especially to my family. But it's been wrong to my district as well.
What's up, Tiff?
I have too much self-respect and dignity. I love my family way too much, and I do not want my sweet district to have to endure a hurtful and hateful primary against me by the president that we all fought for.
The interesting thing, sorry, I know I stutter a lot, I'm sorry. The thing that's kind of interesting about the whole thing is it's really bad actors using people's tolerance against them. Right. And I don't even, this isn't even just in macro, like with the, society as a whole versus like LGBT like tolerance. Right. This is even within their own communities. Whereas like, even if you were to zoom in on like the LGBT community only of itself, you have bad actors within that community basically expecting tolerance from the greater of that community and then not giving tolerance back to those that have an opposing opinion. So the funny thing is they've completely subverted it where they've claimed for tolerance, but they're not actually tolerant. They're actually the least tolerant. In the entire stack of humanity, the people crying for tolerance are literally the least tolerant out of everybody, which is that's the craziest thing about it, is how hard they've subverted that.
Only to fight and win my election while Republicans will likely lose the midterms. And in turn, be expected to defend.
You know why they're going to lose is because they didn't do some of the things that they said they were going to do. Like, that's the problem, is that they were not, in my opinion, they weren't aggressive enough with the ICE arrests. They weren't, they didn't release the Epstein files. I do think that the Epstein files was the turning point where when Trump started, well, what do you mean my hand wasn't in the cookie jar? No, it wasn't. No, you had the photo of it? Oh, well, that was fake. That was AI. Yeah, that was, I think, the turning point of the enthusiasm behind Trump.
Yeah,
because
I
really think that is the one thing that is completely indefensible. Like, I can defend anything else. Like, the ICE deportations, I think, are great. The getting rid of the trans school thing, I think that's great. I think that getting rid of USAID, I think that's great. Mm-hmm. People in Africa die. That's obviously sad, but we're not responsible for the lives of every single person in the world, okay? Like, let's just be real.
Sure.
And so nobody is, by the way. It's not like they are responsible for us either. The fact is that this motherfucker got no heart for people. Yeah, exactly, right? And so, but Trump was innocent. Well, we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't think that anything's going to come out to happen. Yeah, you're wrong, though, because it's not like Democrats give people a better or an attractive choice. I understand. So you're telling me that I'm wrong because Democrats are bad? You're intentionally misunderstanding. Like, I don't know, like maybe you have like a mental disorder or something. So
I was drinking water. I almost spit out my water. Holy shit.
Like, it's not your fault, but you're intentionally misunderstanding. The reality is that behind a good like, you can have being better than the guy that's bad. Like, you're bad, but that guy's worse is a really bad sales technique. Mm-hmm. It is. It's a very bad sales technique. A better sales technique is I'm really good. People would rather vote for something that they can hope for. That's why Obama's fucking campaign slogan was hope, right?
Yep.
Or change, or whatever it was. Apparently changed his mind, but that was what he ran on. People want something positive that they can look forward to, some sort of positive trajectory, some sort of positive motion, and that's what I think is really lacking. And I think that's what really took the inertia out of Trump, is that you had the Epstein files, and this was, you know, in my mind, this was the big one, right? This was the big, really important one, and he messed it up. And he messed it up in the worst way possible. I think that's unforgivable. It is. It's unforgivable. Now, I can support Trump with other things, but I'll never forget that. And that's the reason why I didn't fucking vote for him the second time. It is. It is the reason. Because
I think that's fair. I honestly, I think that's pretty fair.
You know, we were promised a dictator, and we didn't get one. We were. We were promised.
I mean, to be fair, like, and I know this isn't really an excuse. Like, if you're gonna be the president, you got to be the president, right? You gotta own up to it and be the president. But I can also see that Trump wasn't prepared for just he probably couldn't imagine. I don't think any of us could imagine just how fucking bad and nasty like politics could be, right? You have to understand, like, Trump was a businessman, right? He wasn't like a career politician. He came into it as a businessman. And I think he probably thought that the people that were on his side were actually on his side, you know? He probably thought he could trust a lot of people that were actually untrustworthy. He didn't know the game, basically, I think.
I thought we were going to get a real one, and we didn't. I got fucking scammed. I knew it. I fucking knew it.
Defend the president against impeachment after he hatefully dumped tens of millions of dollars against me and tried to destroy me.
I wanted a racist.
It's all so absurd and completely unserious. I refuse to be a battered wife, hoping it all goes away and gets better. If I am cast aside by the president and the MAGA political machine and replaced by neocons, big pharma, big tech, military and
Republicans are still lesser of two evils at this point. I generally agree with you. I would never vote for a Democrat because they want to introduce. The reason why I would never vote for a Democrat is because Democratic policy enables people that would put me at a disadvantage because of my race or my gender.
Yeah.
Like, just period.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Like, that to me, like that, I am a single issue voter with that. If you put me at a disadvantage because of my race or my gender, I will never vote for you under any circumstances.
Based.
Period. That's progressives. Yeah, but the Democrats empower the progressives. That's the problem. And you should never do that, by the way. Like, everybody else should feel the same way. Like, if you're a black guy, Indian guy, Asian guy, you should do the same thing I'm doing.
Industrial war complex, foreign leaders, and the elite donor class that can never, ever relate to real Americans, then many common Americans have been cast aside and replaced as well. There is no plan to save the world
I can't wait
or
to play
a 4D
too.
chess game being played. When common American people realize and understand that the political industrial complex of both parties is ripping this country apart, that not one elected leader like me is able to stop Washington's machine from gradually destroying our country, and instead the reality is that they, common Americans, the people, possess the real power over Washington, then I'll be here by their side to rebuild it. Until then, I'm going back to the people that I love, to live my life to the fullest as I always have, and I look forward to a new path ahead.
Damn.
I'll be resigning from office with my last day being January 5th, 2026.
So there
and
it
I
is.
look forward to seeing many of you again sometime in the future. May God bless you all, and may God bless America.
I am very torn on whether this is the right way of doing things or not. Like, I'm very divided on it, and I don't know if you guys feel the same way on it. Where it's like there's a part where it's like, okay, well, if you think that it's this bad, then stand and fight, right? Give up. But at the same time, you know, you've invested so much of yourself into this movement, and the movement leader has effectively repudiated you and said that you are an enemy and that they're going to try to disadvantage you and attack you at every point. Like, at that point, like, and also, like, she's probably not going to win again, like, realistically. And that's the problem, right? And so why even play a game that you know you're going to lose?
That's true.
She could have Bernie Sanders it. Yeah, but what happened with him? He lost. So yeah, that nobody votes. So the one with the money wins. Term limits are the solution. We want new young people in the government. That's how we get it. Term limits don't allow young people in the government. They just allow new people in the government. Like, I don't understand why you expect that that's going to change. So I don't know really why you would say that, but, like, you know, that's just how that's how I see it, at least, right? if she gets her appointments removed, she is effectively lame duck. Well, I don't know about that. I'm telling you, she's my district rep. I promise you that she would win again. Maybe, maybe not, right? I don't know yet. But you don't even know who's running against her. But so it's hard really to say. Either way, I am extremely torn on this. I don't really know whether I agree with her or not about this. I think that
it's kind of like, I kind of agree with Asmon here in that, like, it's like she's like one of the people that we need. You know what I mean? Like, we need more people like that. And it's kind of, I can understand being tired. Like, I feel like I would be tired too. I feel like a lot of us would be if we were like in the same position as her, and it was like you put your heart, you put everything into it, and then everyone just basically said, you know what, actually you suck, we don't like you anymore. And you're like, wait, but I did everything I could. It's like, no, like you would feel pretty bad, I think. So it is kind of rough to see. I think it's understandable.
She said some crazy
like you could be like, oh well, do I keep fighting or do I just go have a good time with my family, right? It's
stuff
difficult
in the past, and I think that she's been very performative in the past in the way that she's behaved. But in general, the things that she said in this video, I didn't disagree with a single one of them, except for like maybe a minor thing about the H-1B visa thing. Like overall, I agreed with everything that she said. I did, and I feel like, again, like Jewish space lasers, I didn't agree with the Jewish space lasers. I don't think that there are, I think that there are space lasers, but I don't think that they're necessarily Jewish. I think that there are other people besides the Jews that control the space lasers also. Okay, like it was proven to be real.
But then technically, couldn't they? Okay, hold on. If you said that there are other people that can control the space lasers also, then when they're under the control of the Jews, then they would be Jewish space lasers.
But it's about the space laser.
Remember I said it's the Jews? Nux confirmed it. Well, I mean, if the blue Jew confirmed it, then I guess it's real.
Are they Jewish space lasers? That's the question, right? And so anyway, that's not what she said. Media made it up. Well, either I don't know. I don't care. It doesn't matter. It's funny to talk about, but it doesn't really make a difference. So yes. Anyway, I didn't see that coming. Is she quitting to join some news org for big bucks? I think that's the way a lot of people feel about it. She left because she realizes the government is rotted. Is this real? She's checking out. Didn't see that coming. And this is honestly a shocker. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Is this her? Yeah, I guess that's her. What's she saying? This is about it. Yeah, 21,000 replies. Oh my God, this was very controversial, and I would never imagine saying this, but don't go, stay and fight. I mean, I think that probably taking a break. Thank you for leaving. Enjoy selling out to the radical left. Jesus Christ. I do think that she is making such a huge mistake by trying to look for the approval on mainstream media and by traditional celebrities. You have burned the boats and you don't realize it yet.
This is so true, man. See Kaizen here again. Remember I talked about Kaizen before. Like, I love this guy's post. Like, this guy's a legend. And he says, sadly, the people we need to be politicians the most want to do it the least. It's so fucking true, dude. It's so true.
It's over. They're never going to forgive you. They will pat you on the back whenever you tell them that they're right. They will never respect you. They will never treat you as one of their own. They will never view you as an equal. They will never, ever, ever do that. And so if you are trying to seek their approval, you are only going to hurt yourself. It is a massive fucking mistake. Never seek approval from people like that, because their approval is the only thing that they have. And so if they can't use their approval to keep you in check, then they don't have any power. Yeah. So that's it. Even her own party. Yeah, she joined them to get outcasted by them soon. Well, they're already going to outcast her. Like, that's what's going to happen immediately. The moment that she deviates from them, they're going to immediately change their mind on her. That's the problem that people like her don't realize, is that these people don't want you to be an ally. They want you to be a slave. They want you to be obedient. They want you to listen to what they say and then say the same thing back to them. That's it. There are Jewish space lasers, bro.
This is why I get into fights with people all over. It's not just like one side, right? Asmon's probably the same. He gets probably fire from everybody as well. When you're a free thinker and you consider everything by its own merits and not just because someone told you, you're going to get fucking shot by everybody, basically.
It's the sound of Star Wars lightsaber. Instead, when the laser turns on, it says shalom. This has to stop. Guys, this has to stop. This is it. She's setting up for a 2028 presidential run. Yeah, maybe she is. I mean, I I don't know if I'd vote for. I'd probably vote for JD Vance over her, if you want me to be honest.
Yeah.
I think that, like, again, like, he kind of represents me more than she does. But overall, like, it really depends. Thomas Massey, I don't think that he is aggressive enough on social issues. I would want to have him involved, but I wouldn't want him as the president, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree with him on that.
I don't agree with his conservative economic policies either. I'm not an economic conservative at all. I agree with spending more money on the population. I don't care if we want to pay for a fat person's food. Double it. Let's solve this problem faster than it was already going to be solved. Let's accelerate it. So yeah, that's the way I see it.
Yeah, see, that's where I'm like
Thomas
different
Massey's
from Asmon
very
right
pro-immigration. He fucking sucks. Well, I mean, it's with when anybody. A person is a collection of ideas, and you can't always expect that somebody's going to have every good idea, and they're going to have every good viewpoint, and they're going to see eye to eye with you on everything, right? It's just not how it works.
Yeah, I actually really like Asmon's take on it, and you can kind of see like again, like I don't. It's so weird to me that people. Oh my god, the true story of Asmongold. But yeah, people seem to have always thought that he's kind of dumb. I don't think he is, actually. I really don't. And I think he's perfectly willing to play the clown role, to totally play the jester. But I don't think, the jesters were really smart. That was like an actual thing in history, is that jesters were known for being really smart. And I kind of think that Asmon is that, basically.